Get ready for 5 minutes packed with facts about leaders and businesses that shape our communities. Welcome to 5 Minutes with Daniel Coburn. Today, I'm joined by Christopher Filipiak from Christopher Filipiak LLC. At his business, Christopher is a sales consultant and coach for CEOs. Thank you for joining me today.
Hey, Daniel. It's really great to be here today. Thanks for having me on the show.
It's my pleasure. Yeah. So one of the interesting things that you and I talked about is, coaching and CEOs and lifestyle. And I'm a firm believer in the fact that I am not perfect, and I certainly suffer from the whole work-life balance that everybody talks about. But today, how do you find the CEOs that are ready to transform their sales approach and lifestyle through the system that you have there?
I think it starts with a few things, Daniel. So I think it starts with having clarity on what it is you want and who you want to work with. So that's the first thing. And then once you have clarity on who that person is, once you have clarity on what it is you want, you need to identify the person that can help you achieve that, which is, you would call that my people, your avatar, your ideal client persona, and really get dialed in on the ideally one person who is that sweet spot client. Once you've identified that, you have to put together messaging that resonates with them so they understand that you get them and you understand how to speak to them at their level of current awareness. Okay, so that's two pieces there: who your person is, your messaging to speak with them. From there, you need some way to outreach to them. And I think there's multiple different ways to do that, to attract them, so you're able to create a conversation with that person. And once you've identified how you want to reach out to that person, it's about just reaching out to those type of humans consistently every day. So I think if you do kind of those four pieces, who your person is, the right messaging, an outreach play that you'll do consistently and will work, and then consistently doing it, that will help you. The last thing that I'll add in there is mindset is a huge component of what it is that you're doing. So understanding how to operate your mind and your body in a way that creates the results that you want is also super important. So I could give you the best strategy and tactics, but if you're not showing up to use them with the right energy and the right mindset, they're not going to work for you. Make sense?
Nice. Yep, makes perfect sense. That actually leads me into my second question is, what's the most rewarding aspect of helping CEOs achieve financial and personal success? And what obstacles do you face in sharing your unique approach with a wider audience? And you touched on that a little bit, but if you could help a little bit with that.
Most of the CEOs that I work with are overwhelmed, frustrated, and stressed out. And when you dig under you get to the cause of what's going on inside of them, there can also be a lot of fear, worry, and doubt that is showing up. So the most rewarding thing in my business and what I love to do is be safe space for the truth of what the desires are for those humans and help them tap into what they actually want to be doing based on their heart's desire, and then moving them into the confidence and competence that allows them to create that in their life and their business in a very short amount of time. So they end up having more revenue in their business, but that revenue is more of a byproduct of setting up their mindset, their strategy and tactics and their activity in a way that they have mastery around creating what they want. So that's really the transformation. You go from a CEO who is a little unclear or doesn't have a structure for creating what they want in their life, whether that's revenue or team members. I mainly focus on revenue and sales because that's where I have skill set and experience. But being worried about that to a real place and sense of mastery and calm and certainty and faith around what it takes to actually grow revenue and add clients consistently. And that's the most rewarding part for me, for sure.
Nice. And as we wrap this up, just one last one, if you could just in brief, just so people kind of understand what you're capable of doing, but just a short thing on a success story about, what you did for a business. So this way, again, your potential clients will understand what you could do for them.
Yeah, so I was working with a leadership consulting firm that was losing money in Q2 of last year, a significant amount of money, about $500,000 per month. And over the course of, 6 months, 6 to 12 months, we really worked to build out a sales ready organization. So to put in the leadership, the mindset, the marketing, the sales, and the project management required to really turn that company around and help them achieve consistent revenue. As part of that work, it was coaching with the CEO and the partners and the leadership team of that business, and really helping them develop a healthy mindset or a successful mindset around sales, and seeing sales as a expression of love or an act of love, and something that they were no longer afraid or resistant to doing, but actually embracing and enjoying doing on a consistent basis. And now they're consistently adding. So they went from being unprofitable at about $500,000 loss per month to consistently adding $750,000 per month, and on their way to $1 million per month. And that's just one example of, what can happen when you're clear on what you want and you're willing to do the mindset work, the strategy and tactic work, and the activity work to actually master those skill sets and change and grow into the CEO and the organization that's required to achieve your revenue goals.
Excellent. Thank you so much. But before we wrap things up, how do people find you and get a hold of you? And when they get there, how do they, if they want to communicate or connect just with you or your team, what are the best ways for people to do that?
Yeah, so you can just reach out to me on my website, ChristopherFilipiak.com. Set up an introductory conversation there with me, or you can send me a message on LinkedIn. And there's some really powerful and helpful articles on my website, and also that I share on LinkedIn, that can benefit CEOs, founder CEOs, consultants, creatives, expert-based businesses to really help think differently and help you add revenue to your business in a very short amount of time.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. I actually look forward to investigating some of the stuff you're doing with some of our businesses. But I really appreciate the time that you spent with us today, and I look forward to having people reach out and get a hold of you. I think there's a lot of businesses that could certainly benefit. But thank you for joining us, and everybody, thank you for tuning in to 5 Minutes with Daniel Coburn.